Hello. How are ya? Welcome to the nightly broadcast. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can read the feed. Welcome. Good to have you all here. I'm going to be your host for the evening for the first time. Hello, sir, or hello, ma'am, miss. Hard to tell from the tiny picture. Hello, hello. My name's Greg, and this is my first time hosting. And tonight we're going to talk about feelings, which is hopefully going to be some fun. So, your first time watching, well, then we'll just experience this together. Beautiful, beautiful. Hello. So, what I want to talk about tonight is actually how feelings work and why we have the experience that we have when we have them, because my experience is that when we do understand actually what's going on, it can make things that don't feel so good easier to handle and can give us more enjoyment of things that feel great. So here we go. Yay. So starting out with the greater reality, which is we are all amazing light beings. And part of what that means is that what we are is so much more than our bodies and what we experience when we look in the mirror or when we think about what I am. We are these amazing multidimensional beings, and so most of us is actually existing in dimensions that are outside of what our senses can sense. So part of that reality, welcome, welcome. Part of that reality is that most of us, most of what we are, knows that we are part of this incredible infinite being that is made of pure love. And so basically what feels good is when we identify with that part of us. So the part of us that knows that's true, when it's engaged, that's how it feels. It feels good because it's reflecting that truth. And the tricky part is that the part of us that most of us are used to identifying with, the part that is in a human body has its senses, the five senses, right? And that's how we interpret our experience in that range of energy frequency that's the physical realm. And so because our nervous systems and our senses are designed, they only work through contrast. So like our eyes interpret light by contrast between light and dark and making color. And our ears work by interpreting sound waves based on the relative differences in frequency. Okay, so what? So what are you babbling about, Greg? So what that means is that our senses are designed based on contrast, which means they need the perception of a difference in order to work, which means we had to make up this thing of feeling separate, feeling not part of this greater whole that we are always a part of. Because our nervous system, that's how it's designed. It needed that contrast for us to be able to have the awareness of ourselves and our experience. So what happened is there's this whole range of light. How come the human eye can't see everything? Because it's only designed to work in certain ranges of light. There's all kinds of frequencies of light that are not visible to the human eye because they just weren't designed for it. We actually have other senses where we can see, if you will, those other frequencies of light, and we may not think of it as seeing them because we're used to thinking, oh, I know what seeing is. That's what I do with my eyes. But what's kind of weird, if you think about it, when you think about how your eye actually works, it takes in vibrations on your retina, which are then decoded by your brain. And so it's actually feeling. Your eyes actually feel, and the same way with your ears actually feel. So everything that we do is actually feeling in terms of our five senses. So anyway, the tricky thing is that because our senses are well, maybe we'll see, right? Because our senses are need this idea of separation in order for us to for them to work. We have all of this experience that is then based on what I call the big misunderstanding, and the big misunderstanding is that we are actually separate. The truth is we're not. We never were, we never will be, we never can be. We can't be because everything is one thing. But because the special effects of our senses tell us, whoa, I feel separate, or this looks separate from that, and we've been used to living our lives trusting those, right? Believing our eyes. I can't believe my eyes. So we've got all of this information that's stored up in our consciousness and in the collective human consciousness that's all based on this misunderstanding. So, like, there are a lot of people that are spiritually oriented people that love what we call the high vibration. I love being around high vibration people, and I want to have high vibration experiences, and I don't want to be in low vibrations because low vibration feels yucky, right? So we avoid low vibrations, and if it feels bad, we avoid it. So the thing about that is there is every bit as much of this amazing, loving energy in those low ranges of vibration. It's just that there's all this other stuff that we run into that we associate with it. And the trick is that when we can create a harmonic with our heart and create a harmonic with our heart so that we bring a higher harmonic vibration into the lower vibrations, then what we associate and what we see and what we feel and what we experience are the loving vibrations. So why would you want to do that? Well, because that's what makes life feel good, because we are actually here on this planet, in this physical plane, on this physical earth, having and experiencing these physical bodies. And so if we don't enjoy that whole spectrum, well, then life on earth is going to suck. And, you can only meditate so much. And the other thing is, and this is what I think is particularly exciting, is that the other thing about these lower vibrations is they're more dense. They're shorter waves. And what that means is that they're more intense. They're a more intense experience, which means that if it's an unpleasant experience, it's a really intense, unpleasant experience. So when, someone hits you across the head with a 2x4, you feel that, and it's vivid, and it gets your attention, right? And an ow. But the opposite is also true, which is when we can access and connect with our loving vibration in those low frequencies, the experience is so vivid. It's so powerful. And that's what I believe is the reason for having this experience. Is literally the oneness is exploring itself in this whole new range of vibrations. Yeah, so negative vibrations can make us feel sick, because basically it's a feedback loop. It's the universe's way of saying, yeah, that's not you, dude, or that's not you. So recognize that so that you can love it. Because if you can love it, then it comes into harmony with the higher vibration. So white noise can be calming because it basically smooths things out. It's calming because it is accessing the frequencies of our being that are harmonious with what we would call peace. So it takes out the distortions that can occur as interference or discomfort. Heard of those mats? Tell me more. There's all kinds of mats that they sell. It's amazing what they're coming up with to give us good experiences. Okay, that's going to make it hard. I can tell you about some of the ones that I know about. There are all kinds of mats available now that have that basically emit different frequencies of energy, So they create electromagnetic fields, and so if it's one stepping onto dirt, well, some of the ones that I know about actually create the electromagnetic field that is the same resonant frequency of the Earth, which has the effect of it's amplifying that wave, and which gives you the experience of pulling you in and having a grounded experience. It's like turning up. It's the same way you could listen to a song on a certain level of volume, and if you turn the volume up, it can intensify the experience. So it's just amplifying that experience, which can make it easier to experience. And I don't know what the frequency of dog doo-doo is, but don't step in it. But anyway, the opportunity is no matter what we're doing, if we just shift our perspective and to say, if I'm having the experience of this feels bad, that instead of reacting and resisting that and going, oh, I don't want to feel bad, if we can learn to look at, okay, something feeling good is just the positive reinforcement, and something that feels bad is just our way of recognizing, oh, that isn't part of this loving vibration. This is part of my energetic experience that still believes it's separate. And how do we make it feel good? By essentially bringing it back, by by loving something that's unpleasant. It's easier to trust my animals than to trust other people. Well, imagine that with that, it's like broadcasting to the world. When we go and interact with other people, basically what we're saying to them energetically is, I don't want to be open to you. And so how do they see us? They see us as being closed. And and when you see someone who's closed, you're less you feel less invited to be open. And so then we experience the world as being cold and people as being cold, and we feel alone. And we come home and our dog runs up and jumps up on our lap and licks our face, and we say, oh, well, now I feel open and I feel loved. And so and that's our experience, right? So what happens if we challenged it and said, wait a minute, if the way that the way that I'm being is affecting how I experience others, then what if I just took a chance? And I said, well, maybe it's not that all people aren't safe. Maybe it's that some people aren't, and I'll learn to recognize them. And some people are amazing. Most people are amazing. And if I open my heart, I'll tend to attract the ones who are open-hearted. That's what I say. So that wraps it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a joy to be with you, and I hope that the rest of tonight is amazing, and tomorrow that whatever comes at you, you can find the loving in it, and have a glorious, glorious day. Love and light to all of you. Good night. Thank you.